Gators en movimiento. Testigo a tercera.
Gators on baseball. Yeah, you know the name.
What's good, everybody? Schmitty here with Christian Cooper, and the Tomahawk will not be televised in San Francisco. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are debuting the new broom. Because we just swept Atlanta. So, Christian, you called it.
Well, I semi-called it. I was just thinking, just based on how the Braves have been running recently, that the Giants had a good shot at taking them down, And look, the Giants scored just enough to win all three games. And you know what? Just enough is enough. So
that's right.
Pretty hyped. And look, man, like I texted you earlier, it's like this is a great vibe for them to take on the road, right? Heading into Colorado, where it's like, hey, get some of that thin air and hit some long balls, and then go into LA on fire and just show the Dodgers what's up.
I think so. Yeah. And real quick, before we dive into it, we got to address the latest news. There was a news break. Forever Giant Lamont Wade is heading down to Disneyland, kids. He's going to be playing right by Disneyland with the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles in Orange County, across the street from Disneyland. They're going to have the longest name in the front of their jerseys ever created. And Lamont is going to rejoin with Jorge Soler, and they're going to try to make magic powers so that Trout doesn't get hurt. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of late night Lamont, form of Solar power. Pa.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad he found a home quick, and he should get some playing time down there. It'd be cool. I might have to go out to the A and see him play.
Yeah, I would do it. You're not too far away.
No, and Salba and Strope and all those guys, they're big time Angels fans. So it'd be good to do a little reunion with the boys at the yard down there. But yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. So today, Roop didn't have his best stuff. That was pretty obvious right from the beginning, but he hung in there and he kind of solidified it a little bit and gave him a shot to win the game. That's all you can ask. And the bullpen was great. And I just hope Chapman's hand is okay. I don't know if you saw that, but he folded all his fingers back trying to get back into first base.
I did see that. Yesterday was the only game I didn't go to. And big shout out, huge shout out to our friend Robbie of the show, who last minute couldn't make it to the game. And he hit me up. He's like, can you make it? And I was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, I got you. So he sent me a ticket for today's game.
Nice.
So I got to, and dude, his seat is legit. Fourth row in section 131. So you're past third base towards left field, but not all the way left field. It is a really nice seat. So Robbie, thank you. Always a pleasure seeing you out there at the park. And I can't thank you enough for a free ticket. I love that shit because I'm 2 blocks. So anytime, last minute, send it my way and I'll just run over there.
Yeah, sweet. How was it in the park? It looked pretty packed on TV. Looked like there were good crowds.
Dude, so I don't know if we mentioned this in the Padres recap, but the crowds are loud. The Padres crowds were really loud. Like it was electric in there. And look, we're 5-0 since Buster made the move, right? We got what's his name was playing, Daniel Johnson. He's in the outfield, and I think every game so far Dominic Smith has played at first.
That's right.
And I just got to say that these guys look like, especially Dominic Smith, he just looks like the exact type of player we needed, where he's just making contact. He's hitting a sacrifice fly with less than 2 outs. Like those type of things were so hard for us to execute. And so seeing that happen, and then, the crowds, today I've never seen as many people. So today was Hello Kitty Jersey Day.
Right.
And I honestly have never seen the lines that crazy. The place was packed, and I think people were in line since like 7 a.m. And the walkway by McCovey Cove, you couldn't even walk. It was all people. It was insane. So the crowd is starting to show up, and they're starting to get louder. And I mean, the Braves are on a bad skid right now. A lot of people are saying that the manager's got to go after Acuna made a couple of remarks and Strider, and they've just lost like seven in a row, I think now. But yeah, dude, the Giants crowds are there, and it feels good. The only thing I don't like about it, just it's hard to get anything because the innings go so fast. If there's lines, you're just like, you got to get everything and be ready for the whole game. You don't want to get up and try to go get a hot dog or a hamburger or whatever you want. It's like you're going to miss 3 innings at least.
Yeah, you got to start packing a lunch, man.
Yeah,
that's what
the move.
When I'd come up here and my dad and I would go down to the city to see a game, we always stopped at it's the Furcrest Deli up here in Sebastopol, and they make a mean sandwich at the Furcrest. So like we'd stop at the Furcrest, grab a couple sandwiches, roll down to the city, walk to the park, and then we just sit back and enjoy the meal and never have to leave our seats unless you just absolutely had to hit the restroom,
Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure.
This is the way to do it. So yeah, man, I totally would expect big, loud crowds for the Padres. It's a division rival, And I was listening to a little MLB Network today, and they showed the highlights from the game, after the game. And they were basically saying, like, look, the rivalry in the NL West has always kind of been the Giants-Dodgers, right? But now the Padres are in the mix. And so now it's kind of a 3-way rivalry where it's like the Giants against the Dodgers, the Giants against the Padres against the Dodgers, like the whole little like bizarre sex triangle between the 3 teams. And it's a dogfight right now.
And Diamondbacks are falling apart. Corbin Burns is out for all of next year, it sounds like, too. So They're going to lose Gallen and Kelly. They're not going to have Burns next year. They're losing 3 of their starting rotation. I don't know what's going to happen. So they're in a little bit of trouble, but I never count them out. They've got a lot of good pieces and a lot of youth, so we'll see. But yeah, we're 1 game out of first, 38 and 28.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Dodgers salvaged one against the Cardinals today. I was kind of hoping that they would go down, but they just came on strong and scored, I think, 7 runs. So that's kind of a gnarly one. Yeah,
that's okay because we're playing the Rockies for 3, and the Dodgers are playing the Padres. So something's gonna happen.
Yeah, and this, because up here I can watch every single game every day if I want to. Like, I'm gonna be watching those Padres Dodgers games just to see what that looks like and see what the Dodgers look like. But of course the Giants games come first. So if they're simultaneous, the Giants are gonna get my attention. And then I'll tune in after because I think they're an hour earlier in Colorado, so be able to watch the Giants game and tune into the late innings.
Oh, is it? Are they in Mountain Time or something?
Yeah.
Okay, what's up, Daniel? Good to see you. Robert Rothberg in the house. Anthony Merkovich. We got Eddie K's 24. We haven't heard any sarcasm from Eddie for a while. Are you sober this week, or what's going on out there, Eddie? Come on. Hey, I did.
Eddie's got good takes, though.
No, he's got great takes. I always love seeing Eddie show up. But he'll ruffle our feathers. He ain't afraid.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's what we're here for.
Well, I saw out at the ballpark on the way out, I saw our old friend.
Yeah, what's going on out there? Nago Ned checking back in. It's been a while, right? Well, the Giants, okay, they're 1 game out of first place. Great. But if they didn't win the last 5 games and start the season out 8-1, they'd be a 500 team. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That's right, kids.
Ned
That
is
is
back.
Nago Ned reporting. And I got one to even add to that. The Giants are 38-28. And if the Giants didn't win 38 games, they'd be 0-66.
That's right.
So all you what ifers, you take it to the next notch. Why say if they didn't start 8-1? Why don't you just say if they hadn't won a game, they'd be in last?
Yeah.
These what if worlds, man. And all Adamas, when are we, let's bring up Eldridge. Everyone's panicking. We're one game out of first, going to freaking Colorado and then LA. This is so much better than anyone anticipated. But Nago, Nancy, and Ned, and the whiners, and all that damn people out there that just their lives are so miserable. They just need to complain all the time.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll be honest, it hasn't been the prettiest of late, but you know what? You score at minimum one more run than the other guys, you win the game. That's it. So you're going to play these tight games, one-run games, as long as you're the one that comes out on top. Who gives a shit, man?
That's
so,
right.
Since I made a bold prediction on this series, I'm going to make another bold prediction right now. My bold prediction for this coming week is that the Adamas fire gets lit going into LA.
I'm right there with you. I already yelled it. Bill Lasky, I'm driving home from, I got this saltwater aquarium place in Oakland. I had to run over there after the game before he closed, get a bunch of saltwater because I'm doing maintenance on my take. I'm driving home and I can't obviously drive and do the thing, but Lasky's on there and I'm just yelling at the radio, hoping he hears me. Adamas is showing up in Colorado and the momentum is taking him into Dodger Stadium. And Christian, tell these guys what his stats are against the Dodgers. He's looked pretty good down there in Dodger Stadium.
He's been all right. I don't have him handy right here because I'm doing this from my phone, but batting average not super high. I think he's about a career 220 hitter against the Dodgers, but he's got quite a few home runs and a lot of extra base hits. So that's what we're looking for. And I feel like the breakout's coming. He had a day off today. He's got a day off tomorrow. Going to get out to Colorado, and it might start a little slow, but look, he got 3 games in Colorado, and by the time they get to Los Angeles, I think his bat's going to be heated up. I just feel it coming. I just feel it.
Well, whenever you're slumping, the doctor always recommends taking a 3-day series in Colorado to help out your bat. A lot of people think that sitting on a bench for a few months is going to help you get better, which I don't agree with at all. I think you go to Colorado, you hit some balls to the warning track in Oracle that go into the 20th row in Colorado as a home run, and then you start building the confidence. Look, Adamas is pressing. You can see it. He's swinging at curveballs that are he wants it so bad. He's the first guy every celebration out there, like stoked for the team, and he wants to be the guy that everyone's running out to celebrate with too. I think it's a little early to be saying that his contract is all the negative stuff that's being said. To me, a win is a win. So whatever's going on, we're winning. If we were losing, I could see a lot of different reaction, but we're winning. So it's like, look, is Mike Yastrzemski hitting 200? No. Is Patrick Bailey hitting 200? No. There's a lot of people struggling, but this pitching has just carried this team. And let's see how we do in against the Dodgers. It's going to be a huge test for the pitching staff to see, because if they go in and shut down the Dodgers, I mean, that's a huge statement. Like, this pitching staff is the best in baseball. Yeah.
And, I mean, if I had one complaint at this point in time with the Giants, is that I'm seeing Adames, Fitzgerald, Bailey, these guys are letting a lot of first pitch, really hittable strikes go by, and then they're swinging at stuff that's just, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like you said, Adames get burned on the curveball, and Fitz is getting burned on the outside curveball, and there's a lot of that's been going on. But I do think that Yaz getting the hit today to tie the game, huge for him mentally. I think. I think Fitzgerald smoking that ball off of Albie's glove is a factor there. You know, I think that makes a difference. Bailey had a day off. I just kind of feel like, it's going to start breaking loose. You know, taking 5 in a row, like they went from, oh my God, the last 15 games have been horrible to like they're on a 5-game win streak right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony.
Anthony has a good point. Hey, one other thing I wanted to mention. It was great to see Craig Kimbrell up here for 24 hours, huh? Wah, wah. I've never seen a guy get DFA'd in less than 24 hours. That was wild.
That was pretty rough, you know. And he's probably capable of still throwing at some level in the majors, maybe in Colorado. I don't know. Right. I kind of almost felt bad for him, even though I really don't like the guy very much and never did. It's like, ooh, that's got a sting, you know. And he hadn't pitched in 11 years in the majors or something crazy like that. So
I think, yeah. Well, who did you feel worse for, him or this guy?
Around the horn and the throw down to second, and it got him in the head on the throw from Fortes, and down he went. Just out of the blue.
That's been all
the
over
Marlins
social media.
get the Marlins are having a tough season, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not good down there, you know. And you would think like Tampa Bay would be in really rough straits having to play in a AAA stadium of another team. Like, yeah, it's no good, you know, kind of like the A's. But Tampa Bay's been kind of holding it down. Miami's a whole different story. They're kind of like in the Colorado zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you know, baseball is kind of crazy. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, a lot of sort of unbalanced things happening, a lot of come from behind wins all across the league. There's a lot of teams that are battling, you know, and you love to see it, right? It's exciting baseball. Team gets down 1 or 2 runs, they come just flaming back. I mean, I love that kind of baseball. So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
So I didn't have time to do the research and look this up, but I'm guessing, as somebody that watches almost every game, that was the first time Matt Chapman has hit a home run walk-off as a San Francisco Giant. But my question is that his first walk-off period as a San Francisco Giant? Like, I don't. Last year was his first year as a Giant, and I don't remember if he had one or not, but he definitely hasn't had one this year, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, regardless, Haruku, I haven't seen you in forever, but you sure were mouthy before the season started. And now where are you, kid? Because Chapman's doing it. He won the game for us last night. His defense, stellar. What's he do? A home run with 2 outs in the 9th, sends everybody home smiling. Let's go.
Yeah, and the Kruko call of it was basically, he said, there's not a single person here who didn't think he was going to do that. Right? Like, he's saying everybody in the whole place was just waiting for him to do it. Yeah, I did a little drive-by on Giant Sports Talk Live the other night and just said, you know, where's Haruku? You know, Crapman strikes again. And then I said, oh, and by the way, where are all the trade web people now?
Yeah, and while we're on that subject, so the same people that are giving Adames the business right now, I'm pretty sure those are the same people that were saying trade Duvall like a month ago. You know, it's like the examples keep happening and nobody wants to learn. This is a 162 game season, and patience is very necessary. It's cliche as hell, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. And guys are going to go up and down. Their baseball card is going to be pretty close to what their stats are at the end of the year every year. So you just got to like roll with the punches, maybe not get too high when they're up and don't get too low when they're down. And let's just see what happens. But at this rate, we are playoff bound. Right now, we are playoff bound. And I'm not afraid of the Cardinals. I'm not afraid of the Diamondbacks. We did I think I'm not really afraid of anybody, really. The two teams in our division, the Phillies and the Mets, those are probably the biggest battles we're going to have.
Yeah, and the Phillies have not been, they're not playing up to the expectations. I mean, the Mets are solid, but I feel like, the Phillies are less of a threat than we might have thought they were. And, just looking at where the Giants sit in terms of record and how much the last, before this 5-game win streak, those last 15, 16 games, like how much of a skid they could have gone on from there. Like, something had to change. Buster made some moves. All of a sudden, I mean, you can't put all the credit on the new guys, but dude, right away they contributed, right? Some good defense, some timely, sack flies, just basic baseball fundamentals that were lacking. And I think when you bring guys into the mix like that, the new guys, like, they're the low men on the totem pole, but if they've got the respect and they can contribute to wins for the team, they're going to blend in real quick. And I think it's going to be still great chemistry. I mean, I was listening to the radio this morning and they were talking about when Wade got the news that he was being DFA'd, and Elliot Ramos immediately sent him a big long message and basically told him how much he respected him and how much he appreciated his time playing with him. And that, like, Wade was a really well-liked guy in the Giants organization. And look, he was a Willie Mack Award winner. He had some amazing moments with the Giants, big time games and the 100th splash hit and all that. So, we've moved on from him, but now we got these new guys in the mix. And so far it looks promising. As far as the Adames thing, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. He's pressing like crazy. You can see it. And I really think you could just chalk it up to the fact that, look, when he signed in San Francisco, he came to the city and you could see the energy. Like, he's hyped. He's just like juiced up. Like, yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm psyched. We're gonna take this team to new levels and all that. And I think, like, the hype has just gotten too much. Like, he wants to perform so badly. He wants to impress so badly that he's just up there hacking, just trying to make something happen. And it's going to come along. It's a slower start than we anticipated. It's a slower start than we would like, but he's a solid ball player and he's not going to stay in this rut. It's just not possible.
No,
So
I don't believe it to be true. And I think it is affecting his defense and everything. I think you can clearly see that he's just pressing, like he wants it. This is his first year with the squad. He's got the biggest salary in the history of the franchise, and he wanted to come to San Francisco. He likes this organization. The whole deal. So who wants it more than him, So just as long as we keep winning, guys, let's just take it easy on everyone. Everybody wants to trade and do all these moving pieces. That's not a good idea. When things are going good, the old adage is, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And I feel like with Adames, like, the pressure is pretty intense, like, he was one of the top free agents in the offseason. He's signing with a new club that's kind of like everybody's looking to him to be the savior. This is the guy who's going to turn it around. This is the guy who's going to be the big difference maker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, all of that, and just on top of all of it, there's just a lot of layers to it. And I don't think that anybody should be looking at him and be like, oh, this is a terrible contract and too much money in too many years. It's like, no, he's one of the premier shortstops in the game. It's not too much money. It's not too many years. And, this is just the beginning of the season. We can't, it just, for people to be so crazy, like, Doval gives up the first 2 runs he's given up since April, and everybody loses it. It's like, man, come on, like, just hang in there.
Yeah, you got, like I said, you got to have a little patience, and just don't ride with every. If you're gonna have an ulcer if you're like, we won, we lost, we won, we lost. Yeah. It's like, just enjoy the ride. It's baseball. The thing that I remember the most is how bummed I am during the off season. Right. So I'm just hyped for baseball, man, because I know how much I miss it when it's not around. So all the like complaining and wishing it was better and all those different things, that doesn't apply on this guy. My mind has enough stuff to complain about in the real world, and baseball is an escape of all that. Like we shouldn't be bringing all that weird fuzz in our head to the ball yard. We should just buy a hot dog and just get hyped and scream and yell and just go nuts. Like that's what it's for.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't lie. I get emotionally invested in every single game of the year. I mean, I'm like the highs, the lows, the cursing at the television, I mean, all of it. But the thing is, like, I love my team, I have since I was a little boy, and it's like, it ain't ever going to change. And, I mean, it's like you kind of roll with it and you go like, look, 3 championships in 5 years, all the great players that have come through the revolving door in San Francisco that we've gotten to see, there's nothing to complain about, Buster's in charge, bringing in some talent. We're getting a good look at some of these young guys. Our bullpen is lights out, right? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
How good is Randy Rodriguez looking? Jeez, he's going to be an all-star. How many times has a relief pitcher that's not a closer made the all-star game?
Not a lot.
I don't think it happens very often.
No, it's usually a bunch of starters that they string together an inning, 2 innings, and and then they get down to the closer. But I think Randy Rodriguez has a legit shot. I mean, even being a little wild today, he just dominated these guys, right? I mean, it was like, God, he's filthy, just filthy. He's throwing heat, the ball's dancing around. He's one of those like very rare birds, the way that he goes, the way he pitches. So, oh shit.
So what do we think about Andrew Kisner? Small sample, or you're seeing some things that what are you thinking so far? It's only been 2 games. He's 0 for 6. He hasn't struck out yet, which is nice, but his play behind home plate, what are you seeing? And then obviously at the bat, he hasn't got a hit yet for us.
Yeah, I'm not terribly concerned about the 0 for 6. I think I'm a little more concerned with the one knee catching style, which makes it really hard to move and block balls going one direction to your backhand, right? And when I see guys who catch that way, it always makes me a little nervous, because it's like, especially if you got a guy who's throwing a lot of balls in the dirt, like the way Lincecum used to throw, makes it really tough to keep balls from getting by you. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. The 0 for 6, Sam Huff, on paper, Sam Huff is slightly better, but clearly there was something that wasn't, they weren't digging. So we'll see. He's actually back with Sacramento now, because he rode out the DFA. So
they kind of swapped him.
Yeah, so he's back there, and we'll see what Kisner can do. I mean, apparently everybody likes him, and he's been going nice out. Yeah, and he's been running out to the field to get the warm-up pitches in when Bailey's, taking time strapping his gear on, and so he's getting to know the pitchers, and we'll just see, I mean, this wouldn't even be a big deal if Bailey was hitting, right? Because then you'd be like, okay, every Bailey day off, we're going to have a guy who's not hitting, but, he's going to give you solid defense behind the plate. But now you got a catcher and a backup catcher that aren't hitting. Like, oh, shit,
True. Yeah. Well, I have a concern. We might have a new segment called Schmitty's concern about the backup catcher. Because I did a little research, and I went down a rabbit hole, and I went on to Kisner's wife's Instagram page, and look what I found. You're not going to believe this. Where is it? Here we go. Little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, here we go. And then add to the stage. Oh, I got to remove this first. Sorry. Okay. I'm still not totally up to speed with the StreamYard, but here we go, kids. Oh, the
Oh,
future
is
looks
that a
grim.
sonogram? Oh no!
Look who's about to have a baby.
Oh,
And
hashtag had a kid.
you know what Mike Tyson used to say, right? No sex for before fights.
That's right. You got to get salty. You got to get
And
cranky.
and I'm claiming no babies during baseball season. It's
That's
too
right.
much. You can't sleep. There's a whole new thing. Your wife wants you to help. There's
Yeah.
way not enough focus going on. The future is troubling right here, kids. I'm nervous. That's all I got to say.
Well, fortunately, he's only the backup catcher, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe Ryan Walker is over the hump of having to get up every hour on the hour to bottle feed and change diapers, because he looked much better today than he's been. So
True.
we'll see. But yeah, you've been saying it for a couple of years running now, and I think your theory proves out 100% correct. It's like,
Yeah.
stop having kids in the middle
Have
of the
them
season.
during the off season. Come on,
Yeah,
you can schedule these things a little better,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just knock your lady up so that the due date is like November. You're
Yeah,
all
right-
good. Christmas
right after
babies.
the World Series. Yep.
Yeah, Christmas
Scorpios.
babies. It's all
First
good.
week in November, you're doing great. So I was listening to one of the other shows on the YouTube world. Dan, he had Glenn Kuiper on tonight, and they were discussing a possible trade. And this was interesting to me. What if the Giants could come up with Hicks and maybe a starting pitcher to trade to the Atlanta Braves for Bob Melvin's good friend, Sean Murphy? And then you got Murphy and Bailey going 50-50 at catchers. So they're not, it's not like a backup. It's just half and half, and they save their legs a little bit. And obviously Murphy's pretty awesome and has ties to the Bay Area. It was weird because right before that, you want to hear the controversial Schmitty take? I want to trade Bryce Eldridge for Matt Olson. How about that?
Interesting.
I'm in.
I think that what these guys are talking about to get a catcher, I mean, wouldn't the priority be more to just get a bat in general? So, like, if you're going to do a trade with the Braves, yeah, ship those same guys out, but get Austin Riley, right?
But Riley plays third. I mean, the catcher is a big problem with the bat. We need to replace areas that are suffering. Like, I don't think you want Riley. Where's Riley going to play?
Yeah, well, DH, I guess. And Wilmer, I don't know what they're going to do with Wilmer. Like, is he here for the duration? Who knows? And then I heard all these people talking about
leading in RBIs.
Yeah, and then I heard all these people talk about, oh yeah, trade for Jarren Duran from the Red Sox. He's not going anywhere, right? So yeah, it's kind of a conundrum because it's like you need bats, right? But there's not a lot of positions for those bats to go to. I mean, you're pretty hard up. Oh, George says hard pass on Murphy.
But he likes
Olsen.
My Olsen move.
Yeah,
okay, but not.
Olsen.
What about straight up Bryce Eldridge for Olsen? Nobody but me wants to do that, I bet.
Yeah.
But here's my thinking, guys. Olsen rakes, and he's a great defensive first baseman. Bryce Eldridge is a big maybe still. Yeah,
Right.
He's hitting the ball great in AAA. So did Luciano. It's just he's young and he has a lot of future probably, but I kind of just want now.
Yeah.
And I want guys that are going to do it, and I don't know. It scared me a little seeing Bryce Eldridge in spring training just striking out so much. Like he hit that first home run and then he didn't get a hit again. He struck out almost every time.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing better in Sacramento, right? But
see, George is sweating. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, there could be other deals. I mean, look, Eldridge is a big question mark. We don't know what he's going to be like. From what I've seen, I want a guy that's a little bit more of a well-rounded hitter. Eldridge seems like it's kind of all or nothing. Like it's either a home run or a strikeout, right? Like there's not really a middle ground where he's hitting balls to the gaps and stuff. And that may come with his player development. But look, I mean, you and I both agree, like we don't even want to see Eldridge at the major league level. Maybe a September call up this year if he has, developed enough to handle it, because we don't want to see the Luciano syndrome happen with him. And I think that, I mean, he potentially for the right trade, I don't know. I don't think he's untouchable.
See, JB is kind of echoing a lot of what I'm reading and hearing, and I just think this is wrong. I think that you don't want to bring up a young guy and throw him at DH. Like his future is, if his future is with us, we need to polish this guy and give him 1 year. He's only 20 years old. Why not give him a year with JT Snow, get him like really good at first base, and give him time to just hit AAA and make people like, there's no way this guy can stay in AAA. We have to bring him up instead of like, he probably can do it. We don't want to bring someone up that we might send back down. That's for sure. Yeah. Like, I think when Bryce Eldridge gets the call up, he's coming up to stay. And if he comes up and just looks like Luciano, we got a lot of problems. Luciano made so many defensive errors and he never hit one home run. So it's just, guys, I understand that Eldridge is different, but I also understand that like we've seen this movie before. So we just have to be cautious. And I think we also have to have faith in Buster. And I think Buster came up as a young guy and he was rookie of the year. So he knows that it can happen, but he also knows what he wants to see before he makes it happen. And so I'm definitely, if Buster makes the moves, I'm backing what he does. I have way more faith in him as the GM than me, but these are just thoughts that I have.
Well, yeah, and you're definitely right there. I mean, your point about only bringing him up if you're bringing him up to stay and you know that he's ready and he can handle it. Yeah, great, because look at Luciano. I mean, all of the downside of the not enough player development and maybe he lacks in certain skills. Well, once you bring him up to the majors a few times and he proved that he can't do it, guess where his trade value is? It's in the toilet. You know, like you can't unload the guy for anything. And so like, you don't want to see that happen with Eldridge. And my feeling about Eldridge after seeing him a little bit was like, yeah, big kid, broad shoulders, but he's still teenage skinny, right? Like he's not even 100% a man yet.
He can't order a beer in a bar yet. I mean,
that's right. That's right. They're going
to
be breaking the law.
Bumgarner was the same way. He was 20 years old pitching in the World Series. So these things can happen. And believe me, I'm a fan. I'm a huge Giants fan. I want Eldridge to be what everyone thinks he's going to be. Like, I want that. But I just want to be cautious, optimistically cautious, cautiously optimistic, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, we want playoffs. And I think the team is in position to be in the playoffs right now. So if they continue this, what's going on, they're going to win 3 out of 3 in Colorado and probably be, my guess is the Giants are in first place going into LA. That's my prediction. They might be tied for first, but they will be in first because the Dodger Padre game series will not be a sweep. So if the Dodgers lose 1 even and the Giants win all 3, we're in first for sure.
That's right.
So because we're tied with the Padres.
Yeah, so, and I think the Padres are going to be looking for a little payback in LA. I honestly feel like there's some bad blood there from the playoffs last year, and that even though some of the faces have changed, I think the Padres are going to be hungry to like put a hurting on the Dodgers. And they're doing it.
San Diego or LA?
I think it's in LA.
Okay.
Because the Dodgers were on the road playing the Cardinals, right? So I think it's in LA. I'll have to check the schedule.
Yeah, it'll be that would be interesting because if it's in San Diego, that place is going to be rocking and rolling. Because you're right, they're going to remember the postseason last year.
Definitely.
I was looking at the Giants stats, and Elliot Ramos is having another all-star year. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's batting 294. He's got 11 home runs, which is just one behind Chapman, who leads the team. He only has 33 RBIs compared to Wilmer's 49, but his biggest issue for me is the same issue almost everybody on the team has. And he's got 64 strikeouts, which is one behind Chapman and 11 behind Adames. Adames has struck out 75 times already. That's a big problem. So Yaz 49, Wilmer 46, and Jung-Hoo Lee has only 32. Jung-Hoo Lee was missing today, and yesterday he came in as a pinch hitter, and I heard rumors that he was complaining of a stiff or sore back. That scares me. And then also the Matt Chapman end of the game looked like a little injury situation. I think this day off tomorrow couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah. And Melvin was talking about it before the game, saying that Jung-Hoo is a little banged up, so they're giving him the day off, and then he's got another day off tomorrow, and he should be ready to rock, in 2 days. So, okay. As far as Ramos is concerned, I'm not concerned with the RBI numbers, only because he's a leadoff hitter. How many RBI opportunities is he really going to get? Right. But the strikeout totals,
that's true,
team wide are kind of gnarly. And I feel like, look, the Giants are 10 games over 500 and not hitting at a tremendous clip. So imagine if just a few guys start waking up, they could go on a tear, right? I mean, seriously, like to have that kind of record with a bunch of guys that are hitting right around 200, that's insane.
Yeah. Babe Rocks is correct. The Padres did choke last year. They should have won that series. We all saw it. We knew it. And man, so I got a question for you. Obviously, well, not obviously, but Tyler Fitzgerald leads the team in stolen bases. Who is second on the team with stolen bases?
Is this a trivia question? I'm supposed to know this, right?
No, but
it might Chapman?
Surprise you.
Is it Chapman?
That's right, Haruku. Yeah. That is right. Matt Chapman already has 7 strikeouts to Fitzgerald's 8. So he has more, stolen bases. He has more stolen bases than Jung-Hoo Lee, Ramos, Yaz, Adames, the rest of the team. So I thought that was kind of interesting because I don't think Chapman gets enough credit for his base running. I was really impressed last year. I guess I haven't seen Chapman play a lot because he was always in the American League. He blew me away defensively, obviously. But when I started seeing how fast he is and how he would advance a base and his base running and he steals bases, like that to me was very surprising.
Yeah. Well, he gets really great reads and really great jumps, like he's really got a good sense of the pitcher's pop time and all that stuff. And he takes just about the appropriate lead. Like obviously today he got way too far off the bag, right? But generally speaking, Chapman's really smart at reading pitchers and just knowing exactly the maximum distance he can get from the bag and be able to take off. So I'm not super surprised by it. I mean, I wouldn't say he's in the top 10th percentile speed wise, but he's definitely quicker than a lot of guys. So
yeah, and he's smart. He's smart on the bases. He knows when it's like I can pick up an extra base and those kind of things. Yeah, people are talking about Fitzgerald a lot, and I think Fitzgerald is somebody that we really want to succeed because he has all the tools that this team needs. He's a fast guy. He could lead off. He's batting around 250 right now, but he was batting close to 300 most of the year last year. But Casey Schmidt is batting below 200. I think he's batting like 180 or something. So he's not a great replacement necessarily. It'd be interesting to see because a lot of talk, right? We're all hearing ourselves and the media discuss, like, what's Buster going to do when it comes down to the deadline? Is there going to be moves? Are there more moves to make? What kind of moves are going to be made? Is it going to be a leadoff guy? Is it going to be a bat? What kind of bat? Is it going to be a Arias guy, or is it going to be an Ozuna guy? Like, do we need a big power guy, or do we need a contact guy? And so, and then what position, right? Are they going to throw him into DH and give up on our RBI leader, Mr. Wilmer Flores? I think that would be quite disrespectful at this stage. I think Wilmer was a William McCovey Award winner, and look, he's doing it right now. So we need to figure out, and let's give Dominic Smith some time. Maybe he's the answer at first base. We don't know, but I don't know. There's a lot to figure out. And my thinking always is there someone better available that we could actually get? Yeah. Or are we just all talking about fantasy and dreaming?
That's the eternal question. I feel like Wilmer's season is going to be heavily dependent on his health, his physical health. So who knows what's going to happen with that? I have a feeling, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that Buster has been talking to Brian Sabean a little bit about the philosophy of how to approach the deadline and identify the biggest need that you have and fill that one biggest need that you have without going nuts and giving away the entire farm system, like doing it smart, right?
I mean, that, yeah.
You look at the guys that Sabean brought in. Xavier Nady, Cody Ross, Marco Scudero. There was always a deadline acquisition that made a huge impact going into the last month of the season, right? So like that, I think that's going to be the philosophy that they're going to approach it with. Obviously, it's going to be record dependent. It's going to be player development dependent. There's all these factors that most fans are like, oh, I don't care. I just want that guy, and I don't care who we have to give up to get him. And it's like, hey, slow down a little bit, There's a science to this, and you have to determine, like, hey, are we in the market for a rental guy that we're just going to ride out, hopefully into the postseason with, or are we looking to make a trade acquisition that then at the end of the season we can renegotiate and extend that guy because he's worth it? Those are always the big questions. Obviously there's certain players you would love to extend if you get them at the deadline. There's other guys. It's like, hey, like, you're going to be just right for this playoff run. And then after that, go where you want. So I think that's going to be one of the things that will really determine more than anything else, what they do, what kind of moves they make,
Do you think that the Blue Jays are actually going to consider letting Bichette go now that they re-signed, their big slugger? And I've been hearing about Bichette for over a year. I would love to have Bichette. And I almost think if we got Bichette, what do you guys think? Would you put Bichette at short and put Adames at second? Or would you keep Adames at short and put Bichette at second? Like, that would be interesting to me, because they're both, I feel like they're one is better at one thing and the other is better at the other thing. But Bichette's a pretty damn good player. Hasn't
Bichette moved around the infield and played different positions? I think he's a little more versatile, right, in terms of infield positions. Whereas, Adames is pretty much solid shortstop, right? So I don't know what the Blue Jays are going to do with him.
JB thinks he's leaving. So, I'm all in on that. If we got Bichette and Olsen, come on, smiles for days.
Yeah. It could make
and then
things
that gives Eldridge more time to not put pressure on him.
Yep.
Because here's the other thing about bringing Eldridge up right now with this team. He's going to have to be the guy. You don't want to bring a kid up and say, hey, you're in the fourth hole and we need you to produce. You want guys already on the team that are doing well, that he can be a piece in front of or behind to like add to it, but not put all the pressure on a 20-year-old's shoulders and say, hey, we need a bat and you're that guy. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. And I think Buster's probably paying very close attention to not only Eldridge's development in Sacramento, but also where he's at mentally. You know, what is it? What is the psychology? How is he feeling about it? Is he nervous? Is he stressed out? Is he
No,
relaxed? I mean, a lot those things are huge factors, you know, especially
that's
in
the
a game.
one.
It's so mental, and it's mental for 162 games in a year. I mean, that's a lot of kind of psychological fortitude that you got to carry around with you all the time, right?
That's one thing that I will say about Eldridge, and I was really impressed by it. He is a confident guy and he's not nervous and he wants to be a pro already. Like he has that mentality, kind of like a Magic Johnson, if you will, where it's like, I want the ball in the in the moments.
Yep.
Like he wants to be there in those moments. And if he can succeed, you know, it's like Barry, right? Barry wanted to be up in the ninth inning to hit that home run to send us home. He wasn't like afraid of that. And that's a huge thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see. It's going to be really interesting if the Giants can stay within, a game or two of first place. I think the odds are really good that we might make who knows, maybe a pretty significant move with maybe some arms out of our AAA, because we got so much pitching.
Yep.
We could maybe put a package together where we could get a pretty significant bat.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's definitely an opportunity there. And I think D-Boggs, let's see what Atlanta does over the next month and a half, because they could be having a fire sale if things get really ugly.
Yeah.
They might say, you know what, we've been a powerhouse for a long time, and now it's just not working, and we need to rebuild. We need to go younger, right? So anything's possible, And I mean, you remember, like, Atlanta has been dominant in that division for what, 2.5 decades, pretty much. So at some point, the bottom's going to come out. I mean, that's just the nature of things.
Yeah, this is interesting. So having a lineup with a starting lineup of Bichette, Jung-Hoo Lee, Ramos, Olsen, Flores, Chappie, Adames, Bailey, Yasser, Matos is solid. Who's your leadoff guy with all those players? Is it still Ramos? Because I feel like this team needs a leadoff guy so that Ramos can bat second or third or fourth or fifth. Ramos is a really going to benefit by having guys on in front of him. He leads the team in batting average. He's one behind in home runs. I don't think that's the guy you want to lead off with. And I know a lot of teams are doing it. I saw the Padres lead off with Tatis. The Yankees, I think, before used to lead off with Judge. I'm not buying into that. I think they should bat at least second, if not third. It's like, put some guys on in front of them, and then they'll drive them in. Yeah,
he's one of your hottest hitters. And that's one of the minor complaints or just kind of head scratchers that I have about Bob Melvin is he seemed to do some really strange things with the leadoff spot that I don't
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, I'm not a major league manager. I don't know really what to think about it. But I do, something looks wrong and smells wrong, and you're like, why is this guy here? If he's one of your best bats, why is there not people in front of him? I mean, okay, I understand the logic. The leadoff guy is going to get more at bats than anybody else in a given game, right? Your top 3 guys are going to there's going to be more lineup turnover. Those guys are going to get more at bats. So yeah, you want to put the bat in his hands in extra time, fine. But yeah, I just feel like there should be people hitting in front of him,
Yeah, I think so.
And I feel like, I mean, I don't really know how to juggle it at this point, like what my starting lineup and batting order would be. But I feel like Ramos, like you said, 2-3 spot, maybe even the 4 spot. I'm still not convinced with Chapman hitting cleanup, although, every once in a while it seems like the right choice, the Ford right choice.
The Ford right choice. So I think the news came out 2 nights ago. I'm watching Giant Sports Talk Live, right? And all of a sudden it comes out that Corbin Burns has to get a Tommy John surgery. And I see this.
Oh, no! Shit!
I just keep thinking back to, like, you and I did a show and we were kind of like expressing our unhappiness with the Giants not getting Burns. But then instantly when we looked at the deal that Arizona gave Burns and the point that you made, and I was totally in agreement, you were like, look, if he gets hurt, he's going to opt in and take the money. And if he doesn't, he's going to opt out. Like, the whole deal, plus his average annual value is more than Mookie Betts on that deal. I mean,
right.
Dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I remember talking about that, and even Glenn was like,
And again, Greg made a good point.
So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on, and Bill Lasky was talking.
No question about it, Schmidt. No question about it, Schmidt.
So
nice.
A lot of people were agreeing with me, but yeah, I'm happy. I hate to say it. I hate injuries. Like, I don't wish them upon anyone, but for some reason that Corbin Burns thing just felt a little icky. It was like something's going on. He had twins. Look, that baby thing again, right? He had twins, and all of a sudden, this is another conspiracy theory by me. I want to have a conspiracy theory channel. I'm claiming Blake Snell had a baby, and he pretended he was hurt so he could go back to Seattle and hang out with the family. And I think Corbin Burns did the same thing. I think Corbin Burns is even down to have a Tommy John surgery so that he can be out for 2 years to hang out with his twins. That's those are the type of guys that they are. And that's why, Blake Snell, Bomel did not return your text. You heard it here first. Schmitty Conspiracy Theories every Sunday night, 7:02 on your YouTube dial.
I like how Blake Snell goes and signs this huge deal with the Dodgers, and then he comes out and he wants to act all butthurt after the fact. Oh, they didn't talk to me. And it's like, yeah, well, and here you are. I think with Corbin Burns, with the power of hindsight, look, his velocity was dropping last year, and so there's your elbow right there when the velocity starts dropping off.
Just like you were saying, who started today for the Braves? Same thing.
Strider,
he wasn't above 94 today. He was 93, 94. He used to be 98, 99.
Yeah, what was it? He had something like a 6 mile an hour drop off in velocity after the Tommy John.
Yeah,
and so I mean, that's post surgery, but Burns was already, like, his velo was dropping prior to that, so something was going on in his elbow already, right? Let's hope so.
Sasaki. And who is the other guy that Glenn wanted? He's like the older Japanese
Sugano.
Yeah, that what's he doing?
I don't know, but somebody was on their channel just the other night in the chat going, let's trade for Sugano. It's like, are you nuts?
Sugano's 5-4 with a 3.23, 42 strikeouts, 1.10 whip. So is he on the Orioles?
I thought he went to Baltimore. Yeah.
Is it Tomayuki Sugano?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, looks like he's on the Orioles. I thought he went to a different team, but anyhow, yeah, crazy. Sugano is doing well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Sasaki's not. Yamamoto has been pretty strong. I think he's probably the best pitcher the Dodgers have, right? I mean,
okay, this is something I want to bring up because I was in tune with it, and then they mentioned it on the radio, and it was even more so than I thought. So we go over here and we say, how do we do that? Share screen, and then the Dodgers 40-man roster. Let's take a look at it. So here we go, right? 40-man. We got these are just the pitchers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 pitchers in the Dodgers 40-man rotation are on the IL.
Yep.
A bunch of those are 60-day ILs.
Yep.
And it's just some of these things are no-brainers, right? It's like, did anyone think that Glasnow wasn't going to get hurt? So the Dodgers spend a lot of money on a lot of guys, and I think there's a lot of risk involved for the, if they're going to spend a lot of money, why don't they spend it smart and get like somebody who's not injury prone every year that everyone kind of knows? I mean, when his nickname is Glass Arm, you got a problem.
And this is where I always chime in with something like quality before quantity. Like the Dodgers went out and tried to acquire every guy that anybody else was remotely interested in. Oh, everybody wants this guy? Not sorry, we got him, right? And then look at how bad, like the arms, the injuries, all that stuff, right? Like, oh, you got a Guggenheim patch on your sleeve. Suck it, man. Like that just tells us what you're all about right now. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Braves come into town, and I got to hand it to Atlanta with the Quikrete sleeve patch. I like love that shit. GT Atlanta Quikrete. Hell yeah.
That's probably the best sponsor that's on the sleeve.
Absolutely.
Speaking of sponsors, Nike just dropped City Connect shoes for the Giants, and I'm not a fan of the City Connect jerseys, but the shoes are fire. I want to get a pair. They look good.
Are they Blazers, or are they like the Jordan Air Ones or whatever?
No,
Air Force Ones.
They're not Jordans. They're I think aren't they their own thing? Maybe they're Blazers. No, they're not Blazers. They're like running shoes.
Oh.
Hold on. I can bring them up. Nike City Connect shoes, Giants. And yeah, they're Nike Air Max 270.
Air Max 270. I'll have to
Let's
look it up.
see. Well, we can just bring it up right here. I'm learning how to do this stuff now, guys. I'm going to start sharing screens with you. So here's a side angle. They might not be your cup of tea, but I like them.
Yeah, no. I mean, if they look
I
like
can
it'd be comfortable to walk to the ballpark in.
I can see myself running down Embarcadero every morning in those shoes. I can see it with this orange jersey flapping in the wind.
And they're only $170. What a bargain.
Wait, what? I bought them and returned them the same day. Whoa, how come? What happened? Is there something I don't know about?
They're made by tiny Chinese children, so
yeah.
Speaking of
the shoes are awful and the opposite. Love the uniforms and hate the shoes. No way. I hate the uniforms are bad.
Ugly.
Till the day I die.
On the topic of shoes, when I went into the dugout store last time, I was amazed. You know how they sell the game worn stuff in there? They had a pair of Chapman spikes. That dude's got huge feet, man.
That's what, yes.
Gigantic. I was like, wow, Matt Chapman got some big feet. So, yeah.
Hey guys, we're at 14. You may have noticed some of my regulars here may have noticed we haven't been doing giveaways, and that's because the attendance in the chat has dropped significantly, and I can't do it unless there's at least 20. And so right now we're at 14. So if you guys can get 6 people to leave a comment, we can do some giveaways again, but we got to at least have 20. Otherwise it just, I don't know, doesn't seem that fun for me, and I need to have fun. Okay, guys?
Yeah. Hey, so how are you feeling the day off, the travel day tomorrow?
Well, funny you should ask, because I got to go to work tomorrow, and I'm finishing up this edit for Thrasher, And then Tuesday, we're doing a DIY. We're building a cement skate park out at the new park that's on the Great Highway. I don't know if you heard about this, but the transplants that came to San Francisco decided they didn't need the Great Highway anymore, and they needed a park out there because it's so beautiful in the sunset every day.
Right.
You know, it's never windy and it's always sunny. So let's put something right next to the beach because we need a park because the sand is. Anyway, long story boring. We're building a skate park out there. Tuesday we're pouring, so I kind of have to get prepped for all that, and so kind of good that we have a day off tomorrow.
Cool.
I'm against it too, D-Boggs. Me too.
Dude, the call center is blowing up here.
It's ridiculous, says Anthony. I know. But they do already have a pump track out there, and I'm not anti-pump tracks. The older I get, the more pump track centric I become. I like my idea that I came up with Toad, we call them hot laps, is if you can rip without taking any of your wheels off the ground, that's tricky.
That's the way Inglewood is, dude. I'm all about the pump track.
Try to have a fun day skateboarding without ever lifting your wheels off the ground.
Dude, it's the best.
That's challenging, and if you can do it, it's probably at a pump track.
It's the best. Yeah, killer. Well, I think we can wrap it up, man. Let's ride this little high from the sweep and the 5-game streak, and let's go into Colorado and just burn it down.
The big question is, will my broom still be out after the Rockies series? Do 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 do.
I'm hoping.
Gonna sweep Rockies. We're keeping this broom out, kids, and we're going into Dodger Stadium in first place, and I am fired up. Let's go.
Get it.
Go. We'll come on this Thursday. Sure. Is that the end of the? Yep. That's when we're. Yeah. Tell your mom, tell your kids, tell your wife, tell your mailman, tell everybody that we want some more people in our chat, and we got big things to give away. By the way, I was out at the ballpark earlier. You may or may not know that I like to get autographs, and today was a big one for me, kids. My first ever
Wow.
That's
Dusty.
right, kids. Dusty Baker signed my card today for the first time. I got him on a ball a while back, but I've never got him to sign a card. So thank you, Dusty. I hate bothering you, but like I told you in person, I love you, man. Dude. I gotta have your autograph on a card, at least one. You know what I'm saying? So
hey,
big love.
Is he chewing the lumber on the way into the yard?
He had a fedora on. No, he wasn't chewing the lumber.
No,
it was
lumber.
girls.
Right.
It was girls' day. I should have mentioned this too. Actually, it was girls' day out at the yard today. So they had a big presentation before the game. The first ever Batgirl for the Giants died early in a boat accident, which was really a tragic loss. And her father was working in the organization. This was in the Candlestick era. But since then, since she died, they have done an annual Girls' Day, and they give an award, which is named after the girl, to some girl that works in the organization. So today they did that, and Dusty was the manager when that Batgirl was the Batgirl. So Dusty was there, and they tip a hat to a manager like that. You might remember Alyssa Knockin was a first. Like, the Giants have been pretty good at that, and it hasn't been super, in my opinion, it hasn't been like one of these transparent things where it's like they did it just to check that off the list. It was like Alyssa Knockin was solid, and she was applying for, and then we had Rennell, right, announcing. I still want Rennell back. I don't know if it's possible, but I miss Rennell. Yeah. And so anyway, Girls' Day at the park today was great, and that's why Hello Kitty and pink jerseys and all that stuff, and it's Pride Month and all that. Some people are down, some people aren't down, but what we're all down for, and this is why I love it, when you're in the ballpark, you're rooting for the Giants, and that's what we all do. We come to the game and we want our team to win. None of the other bullshit matters. For those 2.5, 3 hours, whatever it is, we are all on the same page, and that's very rare today. Yeah. So there's my political rant for the next month. I'll leave you guys alone.
Nothing political about it. And just for everybody out there in the chat, like, hey, you got any friends that are Giants fans and they're sick of the same gripe on every other channel or every other outlet on the radio? Tell them to come in here, because we got enough positivity to share with everybody with regards to the Giants, I think. Right? Yeah, there it is. The number 8. So, yeah, tell people.
I heard Conforto's not doing too good with the Dodgers, huh?
Looking, he could be the next DFA in LA.
Oh,
DFALA.
DFALA.
Oh,
why
Anthony's
would
on my Instagram.
What's going on? Why are you not safe?
Oh shit, dude! They're burning my city down, and I'm not there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No. It's Christian's up north right now.
I'm actually in Northern California.
Woods.
I'm just putting the word out that my house is a fortress, and it's my kingdom. So look the fuck out.
Kyle Tucker is my money man. If the Giants could get Kyle Tucker, I'd rather have him than Olsen. I want Kyle Tucker so bad. We won't get him, but
you never know, man. Listen,
I would love it.
I'll just put this in before we go, but listen, the results that the Giants have this year will be a factor in whether Kyle Tucker is potentially headed to San Francisco. Okay? Giants make postseason, put on a good show. Kyle Tucker might be interested.
But if the Cubs make the postseason, do you think there's a chance he loves it there and he just stays there?
No.
You don't think he's going to be with the Cubs next year?
No.
Huh.
No, because I think his value is going to be really high, and I don't know that the Cubs want to spend what he's going to cost. You know, I don't know who his agent is. Boris his agent?
Probably. Isn't he everyone's?
Yeah, that's a drag. But on the off chance that he isn't, look, we don't know. He's got as good a chance as anywhere to go. I just think I think San Francisco could be in that lottery.
So we're going to do a drawing, and the winner gets to email me at skatesonbase@gmail.com and give me a little write-up, like a little opinion piece, kind of like in Thrasher, how we have like the mail drop. I want something from you that we can read on the air, and the pressure is on. Here we go, kids. I love this thing. Can we get 20 people so we could do this more often? This is so fun. I hope it lands on me. George Curry, come on down,
he's
baby.
got a homework assignment.
George, come on, you can pull it. Write me something fantastic, whether it be a joke or some knowledge or something cool that I can read on the air and say, George Curry. I don't know if they call you GK out there, but skatesonbase@gmail.com, and we'll read it Thursday night. How about that? Sweet.
So we're doing a little Rockies wrap and Dodgers preview on Thursday, and it should be good. Hopefully we'll be on a high.
And here's my I'm going to be crazy right now. If the Giants sweep the Dodgers, I will do a show from when we start till midnight. If it's 5 o'clock, 6, whatever, I will do it till midnight if the Dodgers sweep. Okay? I'm not getting naked. I'm not doing anything weird, but I'm just saying. Okay? So tell your friends. This is a fun place to be. We like to give away things. We like to get you guys involved. if you got the cojones and the Wi-Fi, we'd love to just add you on and talk to you in person for a little bit if you're interested. And the great thing is, we appreciate the critique. We want your opinions and what you want more of, which I think is just Giants, right? We don't really need to talk about the other stuff, but here's another thing. We have a Dodger fan that's a skateboarder, and he is the co-host of the 9 Club, which is one of the biggest skateboard talk shows in skateboarding. He's a Dodger fan. We're doing an interview with him this week, and that will drop before the first game Friday, sometime depending on when we do it, but it will go up. Probably we'll just drop it Friday. So that will be fun. Me and Christian are going to try to stay on our best behavior, but you know how we do. Yeah. Kelly Hart. You got it, D-Boggs. Kelly Hart will be on the program. So we're working out times because we're all busy and we need to get the right window. But I don't think that one's going to be live. I think that one is too dangerous. So we might do the first one, record it, and make sure that nobody has to go to, nobody gets, but hopefully it goes well. And when we can have him as a returning guest, I want to have Salba's kid back on. I'm not afraid to have Dodger fans on.
Yeah.
I've invited Padre fans. My friend Lee DuPont, he likes to talk a lot, but he definitely has been scared to talk about anything on this show. So, but if anyone knows anybody that would be a good guest, send them our way because we're always down.
Yeah. Yeah, Freck's going to be especially not want to have anything to do with us since they got a series split.
Right? So funny. Oh, man.
Cool.
Well, thanks everybody for joining, and you know what to do. Tell people to help us out by subscribing and just hitting that like button. Those are the only 2 things we ask. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. If you haven't liked this, like it. If you don't like it, leave. Like, those are your 3 options. So
there it is.
Until next time, go Giants, and look for this to be a regular part of my set, hopefully, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see how long we can keep this going. Thanks, George. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, D-Boggs. Thanks, JB. Thanks, everybody that was a part of it. Babe Rocks, we love you.
Babe
Always
Rocks,
good to
Catna,
see.
yeah.
And Eddie and all you guys, man. It fires me up. Daniel is asking if we were going to do a show on some other show. That was a little advertisement. I love it, man. So thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. And black and orange till we die, right? Let's bleed it. Come on.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skaters on Baseball. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word, give us a good review, or hell, blow us up on your social media if you're down. Follow us at Skates on Base on Instagram for baseball news and other fun stuff. We love comments and listener participation, so bring it with an audio clip or an email. You can email us at skatersonbase@gmail.com. We're everywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll be here all season long.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
Dude, that was one of the most mind-blowing shows I've seen to this day.
Much love. See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.